So now we're going to learn a little bit more about the Go programming language. In particular, we're going to see how to do conditional logic using an if statement. And if you are interested in learning how to program using the Go programming language, I have a great course online which will teach you everything you need to know. It'll give you a super solid foundation about the Go programming language. You can find that course at greatercommons.com. This is a website I'm building. It's going to be launching soon. So hopefully by the time you're watching this video, you'll be able to come here and take my introduction to the Go programming language course. And if you come here and this hasn't launched yet because I just uploaded this and you're watching it like tomorrow, then you could go to Udemy Todd McLeod. And this is what you want to Google, Udemy Todd McLeod. So that right there, right? And when you Google that, it's going to bring you to another, website where I currently have that teaching hosted. And so when you get here, you can start taking that course right now on this website. But we're building this platform over here for us to be able to deliver these courses at a more cost-effective way, so more people can access it. And so for the greater good, right? Greater good, greater commons. For the greater good, that's why we're building this website where anybody can learn and anybody can teach. So try to find the training there first. It'll be offered at a more cost-effective price. But if you can't get it there, go to Udemy. All right, so now we're going to see how to do conditional logic using the Go programming language. And the first thing you need to understand, we've already seen a couple of videos how to do some stuff, but the first thing you need to understand is that every value is of a certain type. What does that mean? So if I have a value s and that's equal to 42, and then I format print line, right? I could print that out, and I'm going to print out the value 42, and so that prints out. But I could also do a format print f, and then I could say use a special printing verb %t, and that's going to show me the type of that value which I'm printing. And so the type is an int, right? And so this is a value, and I'm assigning that value to a variable, and this value is of a certain type, and its type is an int. It's a numeric value. If I change 42 to Hawk, right, and then I run this again, it's going to print out Hawk, but now the type is string. So everything has a type. And I'm telling you this because there are different types, and one of the types you have to know about to do conditional logic is the Boolean type, the bool. And so if we go to golang.org, which is the official website of the Go programming language, and click on Documents, you want to come here to learn the Go programming language, but this is a great resource. Once you've taken my course, you'll be able to understand all the documents here. But effective Go and the language specification, these are the documents that describe the specification of the language, right? Or how to use the language. And so they're very engineering oriented, very technical, but they're great to come look things up when you have questions. And so here is a list of all the types in Go. And you can see there's numeric types, string types. So we just saw the int numeric type, string types. There's other data structures like array, slice, struct, and maps. Functions are a type, and then so are bools. So what's a bool? So if we go and we look at what a bool type is, let me click on that, come over here. We see a Boolean type represents a set of Boolean truth values denoted by the pre-declared constants, true and false. And these are pre-declared constants if you've studied other programming somewhere. They're not keywords. It's a pre-declared constant. And you could see that, just FYI, just out of, interesting, by going to godoc.org, which has all of the documentation, all the packages from the standard library, as well as third-party packages. But go to godoc.org, built in, click on constants, and you can see, oh yeah, they're constants, true and false. So there they are. That's just kind of like an interesting FYI. So now we come back here, and we could change this from Hawk, which was a string, and we could change it to true. And run that, and true is a bool. Or we could change it to false. And false is of type bool. So we need to know about true and false so that we can do some conditional logic. So now what we do is we use the if statement, and we say if something is true, right, then we could print that, we could do something, right? Like I could print this out. I'm just going to put that there. And likewise, I could have, if false, and I'll make this ran 2, and just format all that. And so when I run that, only this ran 1 runs because this is true. If I change this to false, neither of them are going to run. Right? If I change this to true, only that one's going to run, because hey, if this is true, then run that code. So that's why that works. And I could do both of them true, right? Same for each one. Now, instead of having true here, I could do 2 is equal to 2. I could have some expression which evaluates to true or false. So I'm using a double equal sign. And is 2 the same as 2? Run. Yeah, that's true. Right? 2 is equal to 2. And I'm using double equal instead of 1 equal because 1 equal sign is used for variable assignment. So if I had var fname, right, is equal to Todd, let's go with Hawk, then I could put that right here, fname, and it's going to run that, right? So, okay, cool, that's Hawk. But that 1 equal sign is for assignment, assigning a value to a variable. 2 equal sign is for checking equality. So I could have some condition in there, and it will evaluate, that expression will evaluate to true or false. All right, so that's the first thing you need to know to understand our assignment. We want to print even numbers between 1 and 100. So the next thing you need to know to do our assignment is that, let's say we had the number 10, right? And we could divide 10 by, let's say, 2. And that's going to give us 5. Or we could divide it by 3, right? And that's going to give us 3. Well, interestingly, there's one more operator which we don't learn when we study math in school. But in here we could use the modulus operator, right? And it's a percent sign. And what that does is give us the remainder. And so 10 divided by 3, 3 goes into 10 3 times, remainder 1. Remainder 1. So what we could do is we could do a for loop here, for, and we do our init and then our condition and then our post. So our init is I is colon equal to 0, and then I is less than or equal to 100, and then our post is I is plus plus, and then our curly brackets, right? So there's our loop. And now we could put an if statement in there. And what we could do is, well, before we put the if statement in there, you take that back out. Let's just print out I and watch that run. Okay. Let's build this up a little bit. So that all runs, and then the last couple of things run, right? Where I had those. So that does 1 to 100. And yeah, I guess that's fine. We'll leave it at 100. So the next thing we want to see is what happens when I divide this by 2. And so that will give me the remainder. So what would the remainder of 1 divided by 2 be? Or 0 divided by 2, right? 0 divided by 2 is 0, no remainder. 1 divided by 2, 2 won't go into 1, the remainder is 1. 2 divided by 2, and we could do this maybe just so it's a little bit more clear. Do an I, and then we'll do a dash, and or this maybe just to show that, hey, we're just kind of continuing here. All right, so here's our number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the left. And then when we take 2 and divide it by 2, and maybe this would make more sense. I'm getting a little bit complicated there. We'll leave it. When we take 2 and divide it by 2, the remainder is 0. When we take 3 and divide it by 2, the remainder is 1. When we take 5 and divide it by 2, the remainder is 1. So we want to print the even numbers. And the even numbers are all when modulus is equal to 0. So we could put a loop statement in here. If I modulus 2 is equal to 0, we're going to print out I. So all the even numbers, when we have I modulus 2, it's equal to 0. Right? Those are all the even numbers there, equal to 0. See that? So now if I divided by 2 is equal to 0, then we're going to print out I. And that should print out all the even numbers. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to get rid of these down here. And then I'm going to format my code, and I'm going to run it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, right? All the even numbers. So that's pretty cool. So that's your assignment. It's a little bit more involved. It starts to show you some of the logic you have to think through when you're programming, and you've learned about modulus, and you've learned about types, and you've learned about bools, and that's all pretty fantastic. So recreate this code, get it running, take a screenshot, and upload it for credit if you're in my class. If you're just finding this video on YouTube, make sure you go check out greatercommons.com, and watch my introduction to the Go programming language course on there. And if you get here and the site's not up yet, you can go to Udemy, Todd McLeod, and you can find that entire course for the Go programming language on there. The Go programming language is the best language you could be learning right now. It's the best language in the world. Google created it because none of the other languages were doing what Google needed done. And so think about that for a second. Like, none of the other languages were making Google, do I look like an elf? We're making Google happy, so they created their own, a new programming language. It's the next evolution in programming languages. So definitely come take that Introduction to Programming with the Go Programming Language course that I've created, because it will serve you well. All right, hope you enjoyed this assignment, and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the future at more videos online.